Thanks for coming on. I did some checking back. This is your 8th time on the show.
Eighth. But
Yeah. Now, one of them was we interviewed, so it was you, PD, and Sam, and we split it into three.
yeah.
But I'm counting that as three separate ones. It's your 8th episode.
Awesome.
So I don't think anyone's ever going to catch you. So take that to you. The last time we spoke was May. It was just before semi-finals, and you were kind of ramping up for strength and depth and stuff. And I think you were just about to find out where you were going. I think you didn't actually know, but you were like, "Oh, I think it's going to be. I hope it's going to be Lowlands because I won. I want to win in person and stuff." And I think it was actually that night or the next morning that you found out. How did you find London? Was it like there was a big crowd for you over there? That must have made it special.
Yeah, like the crowd was insane. Like, oh my god, I don't know. It was just like it felt like Filthy 150 all over again, like from 2019. Just the crowd and the hype and just the energy. But obviously it was just like because obviously me and Mickey were training together the whole time. Him finished 4 weeks before me was like, oh my god, I can't believe I still have 3 weeks to go, 2 weeks to go, another week to go. Like he had deloaded, had time off, got pissed, went on a stag do, and then had started back training again. And I was like, oh my god, I'm furious. So it kind of was like it was quite hard because like obviously your training partner had already went. I think if we both had the same one, it probably would have felt fine. But obviously I was really lucky that Briggsy was there for the training. But yeah, definitely don't want to have to be the last one again this next season.
Is it like, are you gone beyond like nerves for stuff like that? Like, is that, I know it's not like, I assume it's not a gimme that you're going to get through because it's always a stacked field and stuff, but are you any less, I don't know, like fretted about like, oh fuck, what if I don't get through? Or is it always just going to be the same, do you think?
No, I absolutely like I'm a mess. Like David will tell you like I am an absolute nightmare to live with. So I am. It's like don't talk to me, don't look at me, don't be in the same room as me.
Yeah.
Like
What are you
no,
looking at me like that for? You don't think I'm going to qualify? Is that it? It's like, I was
yeah.
just going to ask you if you wanted coffee.
Yeah, no, like I get so nervous. And then like it's just like then when the workouts come out, you're like, even though the workouts were so good for me, like even then you still panic. You're like, but those girls are going to be even better than I am in that workout, kind of thing. So, I think it's probably nearly worse when the workouts come out because then even more doubts creep in. But no, like I never ever ever take anything for granted. Like I be 100% as nervous making it the first year as I am now, and I probably will still be next year.
Is it like, is it different, say, maybe I'm imagining it, maybe I was paying closer attention or something, but like on the floor at Strength to Depth seemed to be like one of the happiest competitive situations I've seen you in, where like, is that just like duration in the sport and now you know people better and there's more closeness? Is that why, or is it did you feel any different?
Yeah, I just think like you get to like know the athletes and stuff. Like obviously like I kind of always feel like because you're from like UK, Ireland, and everyone else is like kind of like Scandinavian countries, like they kind of all can talk to each other, and you're kind of nearly the odd one out. Where we're now like just over the years of getting to know people, you get to talk to them, you get to like learn their kind of banter, and they get to know yours more. So I think it's them getting used to mine. I think because I would be quite standoffish until I know people. So I would probably stay in my own corner. I probably wouldn't go over and say hello to you, but if you come and say hello to me, like I'll not stop talking. And I don't know if that's just our culture or whatever it is, but I think now people know that I am just a bit of a gobshite. I think now I get on with basically everyone on the floor, so it is quite nice. So it makes competing a lot more fun.
Is it also added to the fact that like, so you have more of a like you have more of a entourage or more of a crew like traveling with you now? Like, whereas I think there was obviously a period of time where it was like just you, and then it was like maybe just you and a coach. Whereas now you have like Anya's with you and she's doing like photography and media and stuff, and then like your friends as well, obviously, and then you've got like other people, either other athletes that are with you, that are with the daily grind or whatever, are also traveling for competitions, or you've got like Sam was there at the games and stuff like that. Like, does that change it as well, that like added level of familiarity around you at different competitions?
Oh yeah, like yeah, I think like at the start, I don't know if it was just like the culture whenever I first started. It was like, no, you go by yourself. You don't need distractions or whatever. And then now like we've just realized over the years, it's like I'm actually I'm better with people and like friends around me. So that's obviously just changed, but you kind of have to know who you are as a competitor and what kind of drives you as well. Obviously, like having David at Miami for the first time, I was like, even though we didn't spend a lot of time together, it was still so nice knowing that he was there. And obviously, then we got to spend time together after the competition. So stuff like that, and then having the guys at the games on you doing all the media. Obviously having my physio.
She is absolutely incredible. Like
Yeah,
the photos she gets are like next level, like crazy good. Like she's
yeah.
fantastic.
She's amazing. Like, and obviously she's coming to Rogue with me as well. So that's going to be pretty sick as well. So she'll basically have completed the full season from open quarterfinal semis, the games, and what did she do? She did Madrid and now Rogue. So we'll just have to put the hat trick on and bring her to Miami as well, I think. And then she'll have absolutely completed CrossFit.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you ever do those collage calendars? You know, the calendars where you like design your own. Do you ever make those? I was just thinking you could do like October, you could just always have rogue pictures. Like you nearly
Yeah,
have a full set of 12, like.
that actually would be pretty cool. That would. Anya,
So
get that sorted for me. Thank you.
um the games then, so you qualified from strength and depth, and then obviously like Mickey wasn't going and Sam wasn't going. How did you prepare for the games? Like, was that did you do anything different this year from other years?
And no, we just kind of well, we did kind of because um, Joycey he came over, so he did this year. So obviously he didn't come to the games as my coach in person, but he came over to my house and stayed with me for sort of 2 weeks on and off. So he came like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, went home for a couple of days, then he came back and did that there over a 2 week period. So it was really good to get like eyes on and like change like the session as we were training. I really found we got quite a lot out of that there, just in person coaching, versus like he only ever is with me essentially at the games, where whenever you're on your peak and taper, you're not really changing anything. So it's like we've seen a couple of things, we're like, oh, with my shoulder or whatever, and we were like, right, we can actually make a difference here. So it was really good that way. So to have him, and then because he did that, then Briggsy then coached me at the game, so then he didn't have to take time away twice, kind of thing, from his family and stuff. So that there I think was a big thing this year, and I think definitely next year, we'll do something similar to that again, and just have a lot more eyes on coaching leading into the competition.
Hmm. Did you enjoy the games? Did you enjoy it more or less, the same, different from any other year?
I think I enjoyed it more. I think just every year you go, like you meet more new people, you get more friendly with people, and the whole thing feels a lot more normal. So it does. And yeah, no, I think just like even the staff, like the volunteers and stuff were just it was just felt so much like more chilled out this year. So it
Hmm.
did. And yeah, the athletes were definitely treated more like athletes. Like we were kind of told like a lot more information this year, like behind the scenes stuff. And we're usually like we're waiting until maybe like 10, 11 o'clock, and you're still waiting for an email to find out what time you're starting the next day. So this year we kind of knew around 7:30 every night. It's like, right, your brief's at 6 o'clock tomorrow mornings, but at least you knew that before going to bed. Where like the years previous, you were waking up in the middle of the night and checking your emails and resetting your alarm again.
Hmm.
So it just felt it was a lot nicer this year, a lot more like friendly, and we were updated, I think, a lot more than normal.
What did you think of the programming? Did you like it?
I think I definitely liked it. I did enjoy it. I just think it felt like there was a lot of new implements versus like maybe trying to catch athletes out versus maybe showcasing us. I just think there's maybe time of the year to showcase the fittest on earth versus like catching and tricking us out with new implements where you're maybe not getting to fully showcase your what you've done over the year. It's like the handstand work. It's like, you know, not a lot of people actually got to do the handstands. So it's like, did we really get to fully test that? You know, whenever two people got to finish the workout, you know, so it's like usually the handstand workout and the pegboard workout, like last year, they were two very exciting events, where this year it's like those two exciting things were done together and neither of them made a difference in the workout, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, I just think there was a lot of new things. There was a lot of things that was brilliant. Like I loved the mountain bike versus a C2 bike. Like that was exciting and fun. Like the capital was insane. Like yeah, there's 94% of the workouts were awesome.
What's it like? And like you know, there was some amazing moments, and I don't want to sound like I'm focusing on a negative, I suppose. But what's it like in the Coliseum when you can't do something, like when something isn't working and there's a crowd and other people, it is working for other people, and it's something that's like, I suppose, like seen as basic for so many people, and you know, like is it? Are you like just hoping that the buzzer goes and it's over, or are you like, what's going through your head there?
Um, Me and Lucy both said it, so I can say it again. It's not bad against her, but I'm so glad it was the two of us there.
So this is Lucy Campbell and you, and you both, it was both the same thing. And from what I understand, it's for the same reason. You both basically skipped single unders when you were learning how to skip. Is that right?
Yeah. So like obviously as soon as I started CrossFit, like my first ever open workout was the AMRAP of power snatch and double unders, and I couldn't do double unders. So the first thing I went and bought was a skipping rope and tried to learn double unders and never learned to do a single under. And from what I believe, I think that's kind of similar to Lucy's story.
Yeah.
Is what it is. No one, I was never at the time and up until this year, in 8 years that I've been doing CrossFit, I've never had to do a single under to learn a single under, and I was fully exposed.
Yeah.
And
What goes through your head when it's happening? Are you just like,
I literally
please
like
stop?
just I was like, well, I'm gonna try until the beeper stops, but like I like whether people think it or not, and they say, oh, it's such an easy movement. Try and do it with 10,000 people staring at your face, like, and you feeling. Like I genuinely, I can honestly say, hand on my heart, I tried my best, and I just physically couldn't do it. Backstage, I couldn't really do them either, and I kind of
Yeah.
hoped on the floor that they might get a wee bit better, but they didn't. Yeah, we've addressed it. We've done, I would say, about 1,000 single unders a week from the games, and I will never be called out in a double under, triple under, crossover, anything ever again. Put it that way.
Yeah.
We're not neglecting any basic movements anymore.
Yeah, I think that's been the big thing with Boz, is that like that's what's really going to be highlighted, is it, have you skipped something that, you know, have you jumped the gun a bit on something and performed the next level really well, but have you skipped that first step? You know, have you
Yeah.
like skipped the first rung of the ladder, basically, I think.
But I think
Um
it's so easy to do whenever, like, I think for me, I kind of came into the sport relatively fit. So I was like, my eyes were only ever set on RX, and it
yeah,
wasn't like, here, McQuaid, no, you need to actually do a pull up before you do a chest to bar,
yeah.
or no, you need to do a single under before you do a double under. It was just like, here, do you want to do chest to bar? I want to do a chest to bar. Well, sure, let's just keep doing chest to bars and learn chest to bars. So I think as well, it's just, but the sport's developed, coaching's developed, and everything's developed from whenever I started in 2014. And back then it was just like, how quick could you get it? And now it's like, no, let's do X before we do the next step kind of thing. And I think that's good, and I really like why Bo's done it, but I don't like that he did it at the CrossFit Games.
Yeah. I guess anyone that says like, "Oh, single unders is such an easy movement," you say, "Oh, can you do single unders?" Yeah. Can you do them at the CrossFit Games? It's like, oh no, I can't qualify for that. So like there is levels to it, I suppose. Madrid then was next. Actually, interesting enough. So I looked at strength and depth. You had um I'm making myself out to be a stat nerd now, and I'm not at all. I just was like, oh, I'm curious about that. So you finished second at strength and depth, and you like they were all seventh or higher, like all your placings in that. And then at the games, you had 7 top 10 finishes at the games, and then in Madrid, 5 of your 8 events were top 3 finishes.
Yeah.
So like when you are aware of that kind of stuff or hear that kind of stuff, are you like, oh, that's brilliant? Or are you like, what happened in the other 3? Or what happened? Like, is that, do you find yourself focusing on the gaps, or are you like, oh, the consistency is getting more consistent, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think like that's always like the goal where with Joyce is like obviously he just wants me to be the most well rounded athlete. Obviously this year we just kind of like there was just obviously like unforeseen like just circumstances changed leading to Madrid. I think I probably would have had all top 3 finishes if like things had been going better to plan. But like I think at the games I had a chest infection, so to finish where I finished, I was so happy. And then I was like actually so excited to go into Madrid because we'd got an antibiotic. My chest was feeling right. I was like, holy fuck, I'm actually fit now. I can breathe again. So I actually was feeling really good leading into Madrid, and I wanted to go and absolutely like just destroy it. And that didn't happen. But now I'm kind of just like for Rogue. Now that's kind of the plan. It's like obviously like freaking anything can happen between now and then. Hopefully we don't have any more drama with Ellie breaking my heart. But if we can stay healthy, I'm like really excited to like really ramp things up and see where we can like bridge the gaps, because I know like the short stuff is still my weakness. Where years in the past that used to be my strength. So at the minute, like everything I'm doing is under 90 seconds and it absolutely sucks. So like I'm quite excited to see how that fares out at Rogue, because everything I've done in the last 5 years has been over 25 to 30, 60, 90 minutes. Everything's playing the long game because typically in the past, like my engine hasn't been good enough. Where like the engine longer workouts at the games, I was top 10 in both of them. So we were like, here we go. Like that's actually a massive improvement for me. So and it's the short stuff is now the big hole. So now at the minute we're flipping the table and we're going short.
That's probably the best pronunciation of engine I think I've ever heard. Ellie then, so like how is she getting on?
She's good. What are you doing? She's giving me kisses. Yeah, no, she's doing good. Like we walked for a whole 35 seconds today, unbroken. So she's getting better. Yeah. So
and like, do you know what happened? Like, how? Because did you just like wake up and she didn't get up, or what happened?
yeah, so basically like I was at my niece, it was the day of the Avenge competition. We were up there watching, and David's mum was looking after Ellie, and I flew up. It was my nephew's birthday party, so I went to the birthday party, came back, and we rang up David's mum. It was like about 6 p.m. Saturday night, and I was like, oh, let Ellie out and we'll call her. And she was like, no, Ellie's in bed, she's not well. And I was like, you're having a laugh. So me and David went up, and she didn't get out of her bed, and I was like, oh shit, what's wrong? Which isn't like her because she's just a lunatic all the time. So that was kind of like right. Luckily through CrossFit, I found a very good vet. So I messaged her and I was just like, hey, Ellie's not well, etc. And she was like, bring her into the clinic, the veterinary tomorrow. Seen her, and Ellie made an absolute dick of me and let on like nothing was wrong, and she was all happy and jolly, and I was like, she wasn't like this 12 hours ago. So anyway,
Was she walking? Was she walking around there in the clinic and stuff?
She was walking, but you could tell like she was like hunched, but at the time she was still walking. So he gave her some pain relief, and he was like, "Oh, it might just be like a wee stave or something." She's not. She showed no signs of being in pain, like
Yeah.
nothing. So I was like, "You asshole." So things then on Sunday just kind of progressively got worse, and then at midnight Sunday night, she like was completely paralyzed. So like completely paralyzed, legs basically from her hips down, nothing was working. She was completely limp. So I messaged the vet again, and they said, right, meet us at the clinic at 9 o'clock Monday morning. So it was a bank holiday, and basically, yeah, that was her taking off me straight in, CT scan, disc had bust and herniated her spinal cord. So that was her straight in for emergency surgery. So it
And
was quite
is it
crazy.
like a degenerative thing, an impact thing?
No, so they said it was like on the left hand side, so it seemed like impact, but like she never, like me and Anya and one of my clients trained outside all day Friday, and like she was running about with us the whole time, so
Yeah.
it wasn't like anything happened significant. We were like, she never cried, she never limped, she never showed pain. She jumped into bed on the Friday night, so we never thought anything was wrong. So we don't know, and that's kind of the annoying thing. But again, we do have a horse and a donkey, so one of them could have kicked her. We don't know, but no, she's like, what are we now? 3 weeks yesterday, and as I said, she's walked unassisted for nearly 40 seconds. So it's massive signs of improvement. Like,
And were they like after they treated her and stuff, were they like, oh yeah, in a few weeks now she should be whatever, or were they like literally no clue?
no clue, and
Okay.
that's why, like, I was like, everyone was like, oh, why are you so bad in Madrid? And I was like, well, kind of, you try and have two loved ones that's both in a wheelchair, and I was like, one didn't work out too well for us in terms of recovery, so I was like, obviously thinking the worst case scenario, and like just all was going through mine and David's head was, well, this is what the doctors said to David, we don't know what it's going to be. And kind of he said the same about Ellie, and we were just a mess, because we were like, what happens? Do we have to put her down because it's not fair on her, like, being completely paralyzed? It's not fair on her not having a life. So just all those things, like, and it probably was the worst time because it was only 7 days after she came out of hospital that I had to leave. So she was in pretty bad state at that point when I left. So but yeah, no, we had no clue if anything was going to come back.
And like, so obviously, how long has David been in a wheelchair?
It actually was 10 years, 10 years and 1 week between David's 10th year in the wheelchair and Ellie's operation. So it was
Right.
kind of like probably the worst timing ever as
Mm.
well, because it was just kind of fresh in our memories. It was like, oh my God, your accident was 10 years ago. And then the next thing, she was in bloody the hospital getting spinal surgery, and we were like, how is this happening 10 years apart? Like,
And like, do you talk about like what happened? Or do you talk about, because I know like you talked earlier on about the Irish, Irish banter and Irish way of being and that kind of thing. And like I know that, one of the strongest Irish things is like just bury it. Like just
yeah.
push it under the carpet. Don't fucking talk about it. Like
Yeah.
did this like kind of bring up stuff that you hadn't talked about, or did it force you to talk about stuff?
Yeah, unfortunately it did, and I think that's probably why we were both fairly like emotional. Obviously around me leaving and stuff for Madrid. So yeah, it just brought back loads of things the doctor said, loads of things probably that we never talked about. Because obviously we had to talk about it about Ellie. And it just brought back loads of old emotions, as you said, that we just buried 10 years ago.
Hmm.
That was, so it
Yeah.
definitely was hard. So it wasn't just all about Ellie.
Yeah. Yeah. But even if it was just all about Ellie, it's still like she's essentially your kid. Like I've been there,
Yeah.
I've been in your house and I've seen the run of the place that she has, and she is not a normal dog. Like
No.
she's not treated as a normal dog. She doesn't act like a normal dog. Like, she is, yeah, she's essentially a child. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So I spoke to you before, Madrid briefly, and I spoke to you after Madrid, and you were saying like, Rogue, and then that's it, proper off season. And then you messaged me like last week, and you were like, "Oh, change of plans. I'm actually probably going to Miami." Why the change?
Because it's only 2 day comp now, so I'm not doing individual, I'm doing team.
Oh, okay. Who are you doing that with?
To be confirmed.
Oh, come on. At least tease it.
It might be one of your sponsors below.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Right. Okay. No, I follow. Okay. And is the okay? Yeah, that's cool. That actually brings me. So, okay, I'll come back to that. Sorry, I'm excited now. Are you? So you haven't done? Is it right saying you haven't done a team competition since? Well, in the
Strength and
last
depth.
like 6 years, anyway.
No, strength and depth 2019. Whenever
Oh,
me,
sorry. Yeah.
yeah,
Sorry. Yes, of course. That was Mickey and Army.
yeah,
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Okay. How are you feeling about that? Is it? Because Miami is fun, and
yeah.
obviously it was a lot of fucking fun last year. Like winning it is obviously makes it like really fun. But are you like looking forward to it? That kind of aspect of it, that it's going to be like full on crack because there's like way less pressure and stuff.
Oh yeah, like I'm as soon as the girls messaged me and asked me, I was like, oh, I'm not even. There's no way I'm even asking. But I did. I kind of made the decision. Then I asked David and Joyce, but but they can pretend that they made the decision. But yeah, I was like straight up. I was like, I'm going no matter what. Just the two girls are serious crack, and yeah, it's just going to be an awesome team. And I think whenever we announce the team, I think everyone will agree like we'll definitely have the most fun.
When is that being announced?
Uh, Hopefully, I think
10
conversation.
seconds? In 10 seconds? Is it going to be in 10?
I think the conversation's had tomorrow with the sponsor that's hopefully bringing us over. And then all being well, then hopefully we'll announce it then soon.
Okay. All right,
But
cool.
we'll
That's
have to let
cool.
the sponsor do it because that wouldn't be very fair.
Yeah, that'd be a bit shit. Wow, okay, that's exciting. And then Rogue then, how are you feeling about that? So that's in you're surely going. Are you going over to Sam first? Is that the plan?
And no, she's still on the Fire Academy, see, so she's still like
Oh yeah.
full time. So me and Anya and one of the other girls, Carly, are flying out on the day after Filthy. So we're gonna go down to Filthy, then we're flying out on the Sunday, to Texas. So then get the train Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, then compete Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Are you excited? Are you excited about that?
Oh, I can't wait. Like Rogue is like the most fun competition. Like I've done probably my like whole CrossFit career just in terms of like organization, like chilled out, just like the workouts, not trying to murder you, just everything about it's just like enjoyable.
So you got a hat, boots, and a buckle last year. I wonder what you get, like a denim
I know,
shirt, jeans,
and I can't wait. Like it is like
a rope.
the briefing and stuff was like super fun.
Yeah, that's cool. Were you surprised when you saw that Tia wasn't doing it?
Yeah, I definitely thought she would have done it. Because like we talked about it the night after the games was over. And she was talking about doing it. So yeah, definitely was surprised that she's not going.
And when you see that she's not doing it, are you like, is there like blood in the water, or are you like, oh, that's a bit shit, like because I want to compete against the best, or like, is there like, do you give a shit either way?
No, like I want Tia there. Like I think well, any athlete that has been around Tia and gets to experience Tia for like the person she is will agree that she's serious, good fun, and she's so funny. So it definitely she'll be missed backstage because like we definitely like chat and hang out a good bit backstage. So she's just funny. So not having her there won't be as good.
Yeah, God, I can imagine someone, like someone who's lives in America is and like has maybe never left America trying to eavesdrop on a conversation between you and Tia. It must be something special to try and figure out what's going on.
Well, that's it. Like on the bus, it was only like me, Briggsy, Cara, and Tia talking. And I don't even think anyone else understood us.
Yeah, no one was confident enough to get involved in the
Yeah,
conversation. Yeah.
but
Um,
it was just slagging and abuse. I think they think we don't like each other.
yeah, someone write an autobiography someday and be like, "Oh, that bus ride was awful. They were just like
I
heckling
know,
each
like
other."
Nicole, like Briggsy's partner, asked Sam one time, "Do you and Emma not like each other?" And Sam was like, why? And she was like, all you do is give each other shit. And we were like, but that's normal. That means we like each other.
Yeah. That's fair.
I was like, that's our humor.
After, what was it like actually having Sam as coach at the games? Was that like, was it, because obviously you get on really well and it's fun and all that, like, but there's a serious aspect to it as well, I suppose. Not sure how serious with the t-shirt she was wearing one of the days and stuff, but like, is it, is there an element of like the job is done by then, so it's like, carry my shit and help me get to where I need to be and that kind of stuff, or is there still bits of what would you do here and what do you think I should do here?
Obviously, like me and Joyce, so the whole time, like Joyce was up for every single workout. We talked before the workouts, we talked after the workouts, or if a workout come out in the meantime. Like Joyce was my like point of contact in terms of like making a plan and stuff. He done all my warm-ups, and so we kind of just like Briggsy was there, one as like a friend, and two just to keep me calm and
Mm.
chilled. Like she was absolutely amazing for making sure I eat. I'm a nightmare for not eating. I could go all day and not eat. So she's amazing for just making me eat. That's probably the biggest thing that I need as like a coach backstage, is just like nearly someone just to look after me. Like, drink your water. Have you got your carbs drink? Have you had food? If you haven't had food, eat food. And stuff like that there. So like, yeah, she was absolutely amazing. Like, she kept me on time. And then just even between events, she was like, you have enough time to go back. Why don't you go back and chill out? Stuff like that there, where I don't really have, usually wear a watch or whatever. So it's like, you don't really have a concept of time.
Mm.
So all those wee things just keeps you right. And then she was amazing. She made me a bagel every morning, so I got like an extra 10 minutes in bed. So like stuff like that. Yeah, she was just class. Like, if she would do it every year, I would take her every year with me. So
Oh, that's good. I reckon I could do all that stuff. If you need someone for Rogue, I can make a bagel. I give it a good, I give it a good bash. The another thing then that's happened. So obviously, like Wadapalooza last year was obviously like thinking of you as a professional in the sport. It's fucking massive when you have a win like that, and you have, I assume, um, more begets more, where like you win that and you obviously get the windfall from that, but then also you have sponsors and stuff are like, oh well, we'll do this because you've had this extra success, and like it kind of opens more doors then. Does that relieve stress at knowing that you have like safety nets and you have stuff like that, or does it add pressure knowing that now you have expectation that you have to fulfill, or you have obligations you have to fulfill?
no, like I think like the sponsors that I have, like definitely none of them put any pressure under me, like in terms of, like performance goals. And if they did, I probably wouldn't be with them. Because I put enough pressure on myself to perform that I don't need anyone else putting any more pressure on me. So like I definitely wouldn't say that. Like, I find every single one of the sponsors I work with are supportive. And they support me as an athlete. So no, definitely don't feel any extra pressure, because I put
Mm.
enough pressure on myself, because I want to obviously perform for them and myself.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I suppose I meant even more from you. Like, are you like, oh fuck, now I need to like match what I did at Wadapalooza for like, you know, fucking media and analysts and shit, as well as for like myself, as well as for my coach and fans and team and sponsors. And then like, oh shit, now that like they're sponsoring me or doing whatever, now I need to do well for them. Like, do you think about that kind of stuff, or do you think that your desire to do well just it overtakes everything anyway, so you don't really notice the extra bit?
I try not to think about that, because everyone has an opinion. Like, either you do good or you do bad, someone will have an opinion. So they will. It's either like, oh yeah, she was expected to do that, or she didn't win. It's like, whatever else. I don't know. Like, I stupidly listened to the Savon podcast, talking about Madrid, and he absolutely roasted me on it. About like I didn't represent, and basically how dare I not win. And I was absolutely furious about that, because I was like, well, clearly you don't know my circumstances, and you assuming I should win means you're very arrogant. Because no one should win. Like, Emma Tall is an 100% legit athlete, and if she wasn't sick, she would have been at the CrossFit Games, and most likely would have been well inside the top 20. So why should you say that and slate her? Because that's just disrespectful. So I was as annoyed he said that about me, but even more annoyed that he said that, because then that's probably how she's thinking. Like, I don't think I should have beat her. Like, if I was at myself, I believe I could have beat her, but anything could have happened on the day. I'm like, so I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, I don't like stuff like that where it disrespects other athletes as well, because that makes me feel bad, because they're putting in equally as much work as I am, and they deserve, if they win, they deserve their win, and it shouldn't be taken away from them by analysts saying, oh, she's expected to win. It's like, no, they're not, because that other person probably put in 70 hours that month training too. So stuff like that annoys me, just more so for the respect for the other athletes.
Yeah. I suppose we all need something to talk about. That's the
This is it.
other side of it, yeah. But yeah, I take your point. Off season then, so you've got, like we've talked about, you've got Rogue and Wadapalooza. Did you take much time off after the games if you had Madrid coming up?
No, and this year I only took a week, and I only actually had a week's training. So I did, and then Ellie decided to throw a spanner in the works. So yeah, no, like I had 1 week off. We ramped up for 1 week, and then I was back down for the week because of Ellie. So I could essentially say I probably had 3 weeks off in total, because I didn't really train for the 10 days or so leading into Madrid. So yeah, I got plenty of time off.
Yeah.
Unexpected, but I got time off. Like, I didn't take any time off after Madrid. I took the Monday off because of a severe hangover. But I was back training on Tuesday. Like, so yeah, no, we're gonna train. We're gonna train hard right into Rogue, and then I'm gonna take some downtime after Rogue.
Okay. Do you ever feel guilty when you take time off, or is it like just you understand it's part of the process?
No, it's a part of the process, and like, you feel horrible for the first, like, I will do stuff, like, I'm still gonna be swimming. I'm gonna swim 2-3 times a week. I'll do like all my physio, rehab work, movement work. So I'll still probably train 90 minutes a day, but like no ollie lifting, no kipping gymnastics. So I'll keep the body moving and keep it loaded, and I'll keep my lungs going, because usually after COVID, if I stop moving, usually I get like a chest infection or something, just from COVID. So I need to keep the lungs and stuff moving. So I'll swim, probably run, bike, and just have like a wee bit more fun. If I want to jump into a CrossFit class or something, I'll do that. But try and avoid kipping and heavy weights.
So Jousey has a reputation, or I've kind of gathered a reputation of him from talking to you and talking to Mickey, and like that everything is like, there's a foundation of like movement, and if you're not like moving well, you'll fix that and then start worrying about other stuff. And if you're not moving well, everything gets stripped back until you do move well and stuff. So he's obviously very what would you call it? He's keen on the physics of things and like things working well and stuff. And then obviously you work with GoWad as well, and they're like sponsoring this little series. And I was curious, like, is recovery from, say, the games or from Madrid or from, is that recovery like constant? Like, is it a case that you like get back from the games and you're like, all right, I need to do loads of hip stuff from GoWad or whatever, and you're like flicking through trying to find something? Or is it a case that, like, especially working with someone like Jousey, that you kind of do that all year round constantly, so that there's no real change between training and not training, or competing and recovering?
Yeah, like I think like it's an all year round thing. And GoWad will tell you themselves. Mine daily is ankles. My ankles are shocking. It's like the only thing that hasn't improved in the Go One app in like 2.5 years or whatever. But I've been with them. It's like so annoying. Like they feel better, but like the scores are not changing. I'm like that is not through not doing it. I do it every day. So that's frustrating. So for me, no, I have to like the big one for me is ankles. I think it's from being in like a fixed motocross boot from like I was there from I was like 4 years old until I was 24, so nearly 20 years. So I have extremely stiff ankles and calves. So that's and like my feet and stuff. So that's just something I have to work on all year round, every single day. And I think it's just more when you lower the intensity, lower the volume, and like decrease impact, then it actually starts to feel better. Because obviously, whenever you're in like high volume, high intensity, high load, like things just feel shite. So I think it's like whenever you actually deload from CrossFit and you continue to do the things that you're doing every day, it starts to actually feel better.
Um, there's obviously been a lot, and I reckon there's going to be more people moving camps and changing coaches and all that kind of stuff over the last like since the games really. And there's I reckon there's more on the horizon as well. When you see that kind of stuff, are you like, you know, do you think like, oh, poor bastards can't find a coach that like I found, or are you like, oh, maybe like if they do well when they move, maybe other people, maybe I should move? Like, do you ever have those kind of thoughts, or do you like separate yourself from that completely?
No, like I know, like, well, I don't personally believe I could get a better coach than James. Um, and that's just from personal experience, like just like his attention to detail in like the programming, like I just even know like from looking at my programming like this week alone based on like Madrid and the games, it's like this is exactly what I need to do to get better. Like I can see it, like and I know like that'll probably look different after Rogue, etc. And then like obviously like I look at Mickey's program and I look at mine and I'm like, yeah, you probably should be doing that today.
Hmm.
Like we're doing like maybe one session a day, but then we have our obviously our individuals. So like tomorrow, like I have 20k bike and like 2k intervals, different paces, and then it's a cash out 3k run where Mickey has his bike session is 40 minutes in total and he's a cash out 3k run, but his is a totally different stimulus to what mine is. But like we're doing essentially the same kind of time frame, so we should be going out on the 3k run together. So it's like you're like, yeah, that's exactly what you need, and what I have is exactly what I need, kind of thing. And then like his snatch session yesterday was totally different to my snatch session, and again it was just like, yeah, that's what you need and that's what I need. So like
Hmm.
you can see like with the program, and it's not just a generic program, it's completely for me, and Mickey's is completely for him, and Briggsy's is completely for her, so that's Jouse's like specialty, is being fully individualized coach.
Hmm. Does it add pressure to you then? Where, because I know like the daily grind is like booming and like rightfully so, it's doing really well. But does it like when you see him coaching like that, does that like inspire you to like try and replicate that, or is it harder when you have? Because obviously you have like a larger cohort, I suppose, of
Yeah.
people. He does very individualized stuff. So do you have to like separate those two things in your head?
Yeah, like so for me, like I've been bringing like a couple of people back from like shoulder surgery. So we had like a hairdresser that had shoulder surgery just from like repetitive use. It wasn't actually like an injury, it was like the muscle. It was quite a complicated one, but basically bringing her back, and then we had another fairly complicated one as well. Like it actually is like a nerve problem. But it's been quite cool, like bringing them back into the sport again, from injury. And then obviously, like I had to get Joyce over for one of them, because hers is like neurological, that's way above my payroll. So he's in on that, and then being able to watch him do his thing with her, and then he was explaining to me how I should program her. So again, like I'm getting to learn from him, which is absolutely amazing. And then like he worked with Bex on legless rope climbs, and he took me through her session, and I was like, that's legit. But like so basic. It wasn't rocket science, but it was just how he does it. So like having Joyce as a coach, he's also like semi like a mentor as well, because like I send my athletes and I sit in on the sessions whenever he comes and sees them. So I'm constantly learning and developing by just having him as my coach.
Is it harder or more stressful or anything being at a competition, like say being at Madrid and there's other daily grind athletes there that you work with also competing, or being like at the games and there's someone competing? Like, is that like, are you able to kind of do anything, or are you like, okay, I'll talk to you in 3 days?
Yeah, like at the games, Joyce was like, mate, there's just no way. And like thankfully Louis understood it. Like, but to be fair, like he was on totally different days than I was on anyway. But like we messaged every single day. Like he had his plan. He knew what he needed to do. Anytime we crossed paths, like we talked. Like I like give him like carb drinks, give him tips, and give him whatever he needed as an athlete. And he absolutely executed. But like I'd be on the same mind frame as Joyce. Like we want to develop the athlete to be independent and not reliant on the coach. So they should know what they need to do. Like literally, as I said, like Briggs was only there to make me eat. But I know what I need to do to warm up. I know what I need to do to cool down. And again, that's through the programming. So if they're programmed all year to do their movement, their conditioning, and then do X, Y, and Z, like it's just second nature when you come to a competition.
How's the home gym coming?
We are waiting on a roofer. So as soon as he comes, the roof will be on and will be sealed up.
That's cool. And is that going to be obviously you're going to train there, and is that going to be like a daily grind HQ? Is it going to be like, is it going to be like train with Emma weekends or seminars, or have you got like, is it purely just like I am going to train here and then go and compete, or have you got other kind of irons in the fire with it?
Like no, it's what I have right now, but only on an extremely big scale. I just need like, as I said, like to David, like I need 25 meters of working out space. Like I want to be able to do 25 meters on broken handstand walks, 25-meter sled pushes, 25-meter walking lunges. I want the roof height exactly where I want it. I want the bars where I want it. I want a high pull up bar, low pull up bar, high set of rings, low set of rings. I'm like completely replicate the floor and then make it harder as well with the higher bars, etc. It's solely being built for me. But people are welcome to come and hang out and train kind of thing. But
Yeah.
as they do right now, on any given day there could be 2 or 3 people here training with me, so it just means now I don't have to schedule them. No, you can train 8 till 9 or you can train 10 till 12. It just means now we can have like, you know, anyone, like if you want to come and do a podcast, you can be in the same room, where at the minute like having a 2-car garage, like 3 people in capacity.
Yeah. I won't be insulted by the fact that you're like, people can come and train. There's like, and if you want to come and do a podcast.
Oh, you can come and train too, obviously. More than
Yeah, no,
welcome.
I'll watch. With the Wadapalooza, with you saying that you're doing a team in Wadapalooza, it reminded me of, actually don't know where it came from. Did someone say it to me? Did I kind of just randomly pluck it out of my arse, or I don't know where it came from? But I had this thing that like, Emma's going to go team next year, like that she'll go to the games and she'll go on a team rather than individual. And now it's at the stage that I've told myself it so many times that I can't remember, did I make it up, or did I hear it, or did I just guess, or what? It was that ever on the cards? Was that ever talked about?
My intention is to do 1 more year as an individual and then team in 2024.
Okay. And is that just because like you'll be older, it'll be less time demanding, that kind of stuff?
No, we've made a bit of a commitment to the athletes. So again to be announced.
Okay.
But it's all Irish teams will be at the games in 2024 on the podium.
Okay. On the podium.
That's my goal. Well, me and Mickey, obviously that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And then we've got two more people lined up. So we have.
Okay. I'm trying to work it. I think I might have the female worked out, but I'm not sure on the male.
We've got good options in males, like.
Yeah, it's narrowing it down. It's I think. Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay. Well, look, thanks for coming back on. It's been great to get to talk to you. You know, it's always a pleasure. Like whatever, eighth episode kind of speaks for itself, I suppose. I really enjoy having you on. It's been great seeing your success, and I hope Ellie keeps recovering and gets 50 seconds and beyond. And you know, I've no doubt you'll turn it into a competition for her to get her to improve.
Everything's a competition. She's absolutely shattered.
Yeah. Well, look, it's all for her own good. Best luck with Rogue and everything else, and we will catch up in Miami as well, sure. And I'll come up to do a podcast sometime.
Exactly. You'll have to christen the new gym with a podcast.
Yeah.